It is time to make the sound, to summon the string. Wow, 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 wow. Greetings, dear viewers. I'm Quill Quickcard, and welcome back to the Community RPG Maker Project, where the primary focus from today is going to be designing two boss fights. The first one is going to be against a semi-sentient but non-sapient sort of like a half-lich, basically a zombie. It's about halfway to being a lich. This is what used to be Elena's sister. It is what you fight in the armory. And it's meant to be like a pretty good boss. And yes, we are also designing the boss. It is not a boss that you fight in the Flesh Dungeon, but it is the boss that the Flesh Dungeon leads to. If I bring up the general chart, things have changed a little bit. But basically, we go from the armory. We have a big event there. This is where you fight Elena's sister. After the big scene following this, you're able to access the undead mines. This leads to the zombie flesh dungeon, and then that leads into the Grim Furnace. And the Grim Furnace is where we are going to fight a dragon. That is the other boss we are going to work on designing today. This whole chart is a bit inaccurate. I will update it before the next stream. But yeah, we are going to work on designing those two bosses today. The first thing I want to do, though, simply because you've probably noticed that I really prefer to do my game design chronologically. I like to build games in the order that they are going to be played. And so I do really want to finish the second part of the briefing first. So, Scene Guard 2, Scene Guard 1. It shouldn't take too long to do that. Who doesn't do that? Most game design is not done in a chronological order, but most game design also has a better picture of what it's actually doing at all of its different, stages. This is just the way that I have preferred to go about doing this. There's only a few more lines of dialogue, and then we can get going. Let's see. Just a couple lines of dialogue, and then we will be on our way. So let's just play the typical Wallachia music first. And then we can play through the whole scene. We can save, and then we'll work on this. Suleiman, yes. Absolutely, you can contribute rather significantly today. We are going to need ideas for boss fights. So we're talking boss mechanics, we're talking boss interactions. basically any kind of battle mechanic that you can think of, from anything from like a PS1 in Nintendo 64 or earlier RPG. Almost any mechanic within that range of games is something I can realistically create here. I don't want to go completely overboard, but I do want them to be interesting experiences. So I need ideas thrown out today. And just a couple lines of dialogue. More than you can imagine. I thought its magic might be enough to give Alana an advantage. Okay. And change these into silence. You were that desperate, more than you can imagine. Very well. That is a matter we will have to address when all of this is done. And Mr. Bones will reply, summoning minions. I like that. I think that'll work for the dragon, since we are fighting it in an area called the Grim Furnace. On a more macro note, actually, here's one thing to consider. The dragon that we're going to fight. So, it's something that has lived underground. It's in this area. What kind of a dragon is it? The two big ideas I've had is that it's either like a dark elemental dragon and or like an undead dragon. I haven't even really decided that much. I am fully prepared to accept the consequences of my actions. Okay. Jumbles the party AH. Oh god, I love that. I love that idea. Summoning minions, also very good. Low health makes it stronger. And weakness debuff. I think both is a good idea, Suleiman. I'm kind of thinking about it from the opposite side, though. Like, it's a dark elemental dragon that just happens to have also become undead, rather than it was like a normal dragon, but then was brought back with dark magic. But I like the idea of combining both. Okay. Give me a character to play Smash Quick Play with. Dark Samus. Okay. And then... to the mines, then... And that's when we will have one last balloon icon waiting for completion, playing on the player, and it's going to be an exclamation. Probably not an explanation. We'll just have a music note. And that's when we are going to fade out. We are going to turn on the switch. Dear God, I've got so many switches. This is going to be... Holy crap. Wallachia Mines Access. We change player followers to on. We transfer the player here, facing down. And then we fade in. Fade in. I have a G&W-ing, so I don't know where that'll go. I mean, you can watch my whole series on Metroid Prime, and just watch all the fights with Dark Samus, and then do that. It'll work great. Okay, let's take a look at the entire briefing event. Solomon Cole, this is an important part. This is where I need you guys to sort of evaluate the story I'm going to present. So, everything you're about to see is going to be after we fought against, like, the super zombie boss. So these are the events that are going to follow that. So we've just gone through the Graveyard Gardens. We found our way to the barracks. We found our way to the armory. We discovered that there's a whole storehouse of weapons and armor down there. We found the mysterious zombie. We beat it. We took this elevator. And it's taken us back to the surface of Wallachia. So let me know what you think about this. Keep in mind, I'm not looking for, you know, A-class writing here, but I'm hoping I can at least present, like, a C+, B- level narrative here. Basically, this whole thing is just an excuse to get the player back into the mines and to sort of unlock more gear that you can access here in Wallachia from the stores, and to prime it so that the city can eventually move against the False Hydra in the final part of this act of the story. A book? I might as well do some voice acting. Wait! What is all this? It looks like a whole bunch of papers have been tucked inside. Diagrams, maps, indexes. There's a letter, too. What does it say? It's... Well, go on. You know, I'm starting to think we're actually going to win this. We need to get this to the captain. But where are we? We were going up for quite a while. We must be back on the surface. Okay. And we're in the storeroom. Elena! How'd you get in here? Oh, where to begin? Actually, you should probably just call the captain. There is a lot we all need to talk about. The following day... So we are all in agreement then. We found hundreds of documents hidden away in the temple, just as the book suggested. Everything seems to support what Mr. Bones has told us. My own investigations had the same result. It seems that all of this is true. I am still hesitant to trust all of this. Maps, ledgers, reports, plans, some dated decades ago. It would take 100 scribes' years to forge all of this. And for what purpose when we are already so weakened? Not to mention that armory has enough supplies to strengthen our entire force. Why didn't you come forward with all of this sooner, Bones? I did. This is the third time I've sat in a meeting similar to this one, with the ever-dwindling leadership of this once proud city. We sit, we talk, we plan. People die, and then people forget. We may have an advantage this time, though. Elena, will you please read the letter you found?
Yes, Captain! Ahem. My beloved Wallachia, if you have found these words, then I am dead and forgotten. In life, I was Alana, a guardian in service to the Temple of Death. 10 days ago, I set out to subdue the vile horror that has decimated our people, armed with an ancient blade of tremendous power. The Hydra stalked me from the shadows. I feigned ignorance of its presence. When it finally struck, I was more than ready, and I dealt the monster a dreadful wound. The beast fled, and now I was the stalker. I tracked it through the darkness of the lowest caverns, assailing it whenever it slipped in range. I knew that it was trying to lead me into traps. Pitfalls, collapsing tunnels, old magical wards, and dens of vicious beasts. It failed to catch me unawares every time. The false Hydra fled deeper into ruins older than I ever knew existed. Dark and evil places sealed long ago, a twisted mausoleum beneath the necropolis. There I fought the beast once more, and we were both gravely injured. We both fled that battlefield, it into the dark, and myself toward the surface. I thought I might manage to make it, but now I can feel some vile venom from that thing burning its way through my body. I will not survive for much longer, and if I return to the surface for healing, I fear this poison could spread to others. I have bound the only passage into the most ancient ruins with the greatest seals still within my power. I cast the ritual tools into the grim furnace, where I hope they will remain until another can take up my task. The seal will not hold back the Hydra. Should say the Hydra.
I should say hold back the Hydra for long.
For myself, I have one last hope. I know some little of the magics of undeath, by which the Lich Priests preserve their minds beyond death. I intend to attempt the same, though I expect it will fail. In case I do, I am making note of everything I can think might be important, and have grabbed as many documents from the library as I can carry. That much, at least, will reach the surface. I hope it will be enough.
Is that everything?
There's one more line.
Go on, please.
Let my sister Elena know that I love her and I'm proud of her.
We need to plan our next steps.
Please excuse me.
Good. This is all working. Should we leave her be for now? Okay. This is all working. So far, everything's just the way it should be. Oh, what do you want, phone? Go on silent. Just let it out. Whatever it is you are feeling, you'll feel better.
I can't! There are no words for this feeling.
I understand. I had a wife before all of this. I don't remember her, but the signs are obvious. I was 70 when I died, old enough to have had children that were grown. I don't remember if I ever did. I can't even guess at how much has been taken from me, from all of us.
What are we supposed to do?
The only thing we can do. We keep moving forward, and we do what we can to stop anyone else from going through this. And we carve every last bit of our rage into that damned monster.
When this is over, will you tell me about my sister?
It would be an honor. Okay, we need to remove the second camera movement when Elena moves after the Mr. Bones outburst. Okay, now we're moving into briefing part 2. All of this is stuff I wrote this morning, so it's going to need correcting. The meeting continued long into the night. Okay, the placement of the characters is right. There are no duplicates, so this seems good. What is this furnace that was mentioned? I should really change that. I thought it looked like a stack of documents, and it is, but honestly, it just looks like a brick. So, change stack of papers so it doesn't just look like a brick. What is this furnace that was mentioned? The furnace is a great incinerator where refuse and unusable remains are disposed of. How very efficient. It is a purely practical thing, you must realize. It is not meant to be pleasant. And this Ilana threw something important into the furnace. Sealing tools. Implements used to create and control powerful wards. We will need them if we intend to reach the old ruins without waiting for a team of accomplished mages to bring down the wards with brute force. Were they not destroyed? The furnace was not running at the time. They stopped fueling it when the attacks first began. It was assumed that we would need all the undead we could get to oppose the threat. I say let the beast rot in whatever pit it has been trapped in. We have lost enough already. It won't stay trapped. It will heal and it will find a way back. Perhaps by waiting until the barrier falls. Perhaps by seeking or making other tunnels.
What are the ruins she was talking about?
The old history of Wallachia is... I'm sorry. I do not know much, but I will tell you what little I do know. The first necromancers were not good people. They practiced their art dangerously and for dark purposes. Their experiments were twisted and insane. Time passed, their numbers grew, and settlements on the surface grew with them. Merchants and farmers to support the growing numbers. Eventually, the dangerous and the evil died or killed each other off in their darkened shrines deep below. The smarter and better ones remained, turning their arts to more productive pursuits. A tireless labor and defensive force, better mastery of medicine and healing, ways that the wisdom and will of the living could cheat death. And so Wallachia became a place that revered the light and the dark, life and death in equal measure. The lairs of the old death cultists were sealed, along with whatever threats their madness had conjured into existence. A small number of archaeological expeditions have explored that area over the centuries, but never ventured far. And that is where the monster is now stuck? I think it is likely that the false Hydra may have come from those depths in the first place, but that is only a guess.
Right. So we gotta get in there and put it down.
Until the false Hydra is dead, Wallachia will never again know true peace.
How can we get inside the furnace?
The lift you took back to the surface can also go to the mines underneath the necropolis. The mines lead into the furnace so they can be efficiently fueled.
So we have to head down into the mines, find a way into the furnace, and get those magical tools back.
Alright. Elena, you have your mission. Take your new allies and find this place. It will take time to reorganize and brief the city guard, but we will be there for the final battle. Mr. Bones, are you able to command the remaining undead forces? I am sorry, but I do not believe so. I was never trained in those arts. Traditionally, the Lich Priests were only taught those arts after their deaths, and my own death was not planned, shall we say. And the only Lich Priest left after my failed assault had more important matters to occupy his time. And where is that priest now? I do not know. I assume that the Hydra got him as well. One morning he was missing from his study, and I have not seen him since. Fix that.
I'm more than ready. This is my city and I'm taking it back.
As a representative of the Pepsi Corporation, you will have my support as well.
And I've got to keep an eye on young Ryu here. Thank you. Your bravery is going to save us all, I think. I do have one final question before we end our discussion. Okay, so that did not go where I wanted it to. Check the briefing to Elena event and change the question and other bubble icons to go on her. Elena, did you find the sword Elena had used? You would know it easily. It was a mighty blade with a gem-encrusted hilt and shimmering bottle-cap steel blade.
No, we didn't see anything like that.
I see. Please do not consider this a priority. But if you happen across it, could you please return it to me? Valuable, is it? Priceless. I looted it from the tomb of King Leornan. The first king of Wallachia, the Sunlight Warrior? You desecrated his tomb? You were that desperate? More than you can imagine. I thought its magic might be enough to give Ilana an advantage. Very well. That is a matter we will have to address when all of this is done. I am fully prepared to accept the consequences of my actions.
To the mines, then!
Okay. That all works. Yes, Suleiman, please. I'm happy to accept any critique you can provide. This is... okay. The temple NPCs need post-briefing dialogue Let's make sure that we can go back in here without triggering anything. We can... Your new character is Ike. Okay. That all functions. Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Yeah, all those NPCs are going to need adjusted dialogue. Let's check the other NPCs. That works. That works. Mr. Bones is silent. That's fine. Does the boat still work? Yes, Suleiman, I will read your suggestion more thoroughly after I'm done with my current batch of testing. I'm making sure that all the NPCs and stuff around the city are properly working and are in the condition they should be after finishing that briefing scene. Okay. All of this is working. Cole, I see your stuff too. Please accept that I am trying to do my testing, and I do need to focus on this right now. I need to evaluate every individual line of text and make sure that everything is spelled and listed correctly. Okay, that works. That's nice and cute. Fight to reclaim Wallachia has only just begun. Okay, locked door. That guy works. That works. That works. That works. I have to make sure I am thorough. That works. The inn should still be functional. Condition is fine. Healing. Okay, the witch in her lab. Okay, her dialogue is appropriate to the situation. Girl, she's doing fine. Empty house, that's fine. We're able to access that. Oh. And that is why I do thorough testing, because I've just identified a major issue. Okay. Good to know. So, elevator storage. Yeah, we need to change all of that. Facing down, and this is going to change with the Wallachia Mines access. Okay, now before we move on to the other stuff. What if the mines cave in and the party is asked to go investigate? Also gives a reason to redesign the cave to keep it fresh. When would the mines cave in, though? We're only going to the mines for the first time now, so there'd be no reason to present a redesign of them, although that's potentially something that could be asked later. Sulman says, it's good storytelling, but I don't think it shows the importance of false Hydra enough. I think every time the word false Hydra is mentioned in a cutscene, it should be capitalized. There's definitely a number of games that do that, Suleiman. I've never particularly been a fan of presenting dialogue like that. Cole, though, if you agree that that would be helpful, it would take less than 5 minutes, but I could easily make that change. Okay. So I think I'm caught up with chat there. Let's make our fixes. Which is in the nope, not that one. It's Temple Basement. Okay, first batch of dialogue. Hold back the Hydra. 4 long. So that should be down here. Seal will not hold back the Hydra for long. Capping the whole way through can oversell it. That's kind of the way I've usually felt when I see that done in work. Remove the second camera movement after the Bones output. That is interlude scene 2. Okay. The player camera also does not need to move right. Next, up. Player, move down. Yes. Okay, this is the piece of camera movement that we don't need. Change the stack of papers so it doesn't look like a brick. Okay. So that would be this one here. I think a map works. Why not use the Dragon Open Deltarune Dark Fountain? I have only played Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2. I have specifically gone spoilerless for Chapters 3 and 4 until the full game is released. So while I could make a vague reference, I would probably already be out of the loop to represent it particularly well. Second line, have not seen him since. I have not seen him since. Okay. So, this is... No, this is Elena 2. This is part 2 Elena. Okay. So, adjust the bubbles. Part 2 Elena. Whoop. Okay. Part 2 Elena. And a silence for part 2 Elena. We'll have 2 emotes back to back here. But I think without it, text feels blank. There's a lot of way to display emotion in text. True. Hold on, Suleiman, hold on. Hold on. I think we can come to a compromise. Ralsei talked about the roaring in Chapter 2, I'm pretty sure. Yes, Aubrey, she did talk about the roaring in Part 2. Cole, that's exactly what I was thinking. I think I can color it. Ralsei did talk about the roaring. What concerns me is that I don't know what new information has been revealed in Chapters 3 and 4, and that any reference I made to it at this point would already be out of date with the available and existing information. As well as who knows what additional information later. But I don't think a direct reference to other games, to other specific games, is particularly what I'm trying to go for. Yeah, coloring I think will work. It's going to be pretty involved. Let's see. What is the specific clue? Draw the subsequent text in the nth color. Oh boy. That's gonna be one we're gonna have to test. Okay, let's head to the armory. Surely I can find a reference for this. Hold on. It's probably going to be easiest just to bring up the reference material. Messages... Color. Text color conforms to the contents in the window.png system image. Okay. So let's bring up that image. System. Window. Okay. So this is the window.png image. So presumptively, this would correspond to what I am trying to do. So presumptively 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 16, 17, 18, 19. Color 19 should be red. Okay. C19. This text should be red. And... $16 should be black. So let's take a look at this and let's test it. Yeah, I've only played 1 and 2. Alright. Okay. So that did not... Yes, I have played all of Undertale. Is it slash the other way? Yes, it is. Okay. Back like that. I do understand, Suleiman. The thing is, if we decide to make this a regular ongoing feature of the game, something that we use in places other than here, then realistically we are looking at going back and making changes to essentially every single line of text we've ever written in this project for nearly a year. Okay. So, what colors... So we landed on this one. Hold on. That one is that one. And that one is blue. Okay, I have the right order. It's just that this is considered slot 0, not slot 1. Got it. Okay. So now I know how to do font colors. So 18 and 15 should yield the exact results we need. A character I know how to play. There are over 70 characters in Smash. If you want me to tell you a character that you can play, you're going to have to be a lot more specific with the information that you give me. Okay, good. We have figured this out. That is fine. This text is after a line break. And this text should be white. Let's test again. This text should be red. Okay, so the color codes... The color codes do not need a space between the command and the text that follows. So we've now established that. The given text color continues throughout the rest of the box. Okay, good. Does the second text box automatically revert to the default color? Additional lines revert to default colors. Okay. So we've resolved that. Is there anything else we can do with the text? We can also make it bigger. That should be the command for bigger. And this should be the command for smaller. Let's check it. Quill, does the meat still look like ice cream? Yes, it does. Okay. Interesting. So what if we change font size in the same line? That does work. If we add a fourth line of text, will it still display properly? Or are we limiting ourselves to 3 lines of text if we use that method? Okay, we are limited to 3 lines of text if we go for big. So I don't think we should use the big in our dialogue. But we can go for making every reference to the false Hydra red text without too much trouble. Right. The Hydra / C0 / C0. Okay. This method works. So we can take this entire phrase here. Whoops, undo. We can take this entire phrase here, and we can use it to copy places in different locations. Okay. Quill, after asking a character I know to play, Amelia said, which are like rushdowns. I don't know what you mean by rushdowns, is the problem. The false Hydra fled. Okay. The false Hydra... So anytime it says Hydra or false Hydra, we can give it red text to fit with Suleiman's idea. Okay. False Hydra. Okay, false Hydra. False Hydra. Let's see. The Hydra. Okay. That takes care of that. I don't think the interlude scene mentions Hydra, but we have to go through every single line where the Hydra is discussed. Hydra. Okay. And then we need Mr. Bones' house, because we have multiple scenes with Mr. Bones. Okay, Mr. Bones scene. False Hydra. Not looking at chat for a minute, just because I need to focus on this so that I don't miss any mentions here. Hydra. That should. Okay, that is scene 1. Let's move to scene 2. Wallachia looking for mentions of Hydra's Elena house. Should have a scene in it. Okay, I think that's every mention of the false Hydra. Idea, Chris and Susie. I'm not introducing Undertale or Deltarune references into this. I'm not connecting these worlds. It's just I'm trying to create something that can stand alone if someone comes along in 10 years and finds it and plays it. Putting these kinds of extremely specific references to current games immediately dates the product and also feels very out of place and isolating for anyone who is not familiar with that product. It would be like if you're playing Super Mario Brothers and then when you beat the level out in space, like in the sky, you see a little like a kind of like a jagged circle looking thing go through the sky, and then a little triangle like shoots a circle at it, and then like the weird jagged circle turns into like two smaller jagged circles, and it would be a reference to asteroids. But you would be able to show that to plenty of people today, and they would not have the slightest clue what it was. These kind of very specific references just aren't really going to work, I think. And then lastly, we need the temple NPCs to have dialogue the restaurant guy. Okay, it's Wallachia Tier 2. That's the one I am using. Copy, paste, switch, Wallachia Tier 2. We've stockpiled as many supplies as possible. Even the original version of this doesn't fully fit into the text box. Why did I do that? We've stockpiled as many supplies as possible, and we are regularly bringing up more from the necropolis. That's one NPC down. Plushies are a hint to the false Hydra, with one of them being missing and being confused still be used. I don't... Also, all of the plushies are in Dark World. I don't know really what you are referring to. You can... What gods answered our prayers if our salvation comes from the dead? Okay, that's a good line. The priestess Wallachia tier 2 is going to be facing down. She'll say, when the time comes, the people of this city will be ready to aid you. Okay, that's fine. This one is just going to not be there with tier 2. We're going to assume that they have other duties. This one as well. Copy paste. We are preparing the city guard to face this threat. Give me another character. Dr. Mario. And this character... Honestly, we can just leave this one as is. Goku, no. We're not just trying to build a giant pile of references. I don't think it's respectful to the creative process. Or trying to create something original that's influenced by the ideas of people from chat. If we just say Goku, we're not putting in something that someone in chat came up with. We're just putting in Goku. Like, we added Pepsi to the game, and that's a very stupid idea. But the way it has been integrated is what makes a difference. What would you do to add Goku to this world that would not immediately destroy all balance and tension in it? That's... Okay. I think that takes care of everything here. All right, we are good. Now, we need to start working on our first boss. So I think I like the idea of less HP makes it stronger. The Domination Fungus, we're going to have like 1,500 gold, but a good chunk of experience fighting this. It's got some good resistances. Let's chop this up immediately to like 7,000 HP. This thing's going to be really tough. This is not the second boss. This is the first boss we're designing today. Everything we worked on for the last hour, that entire scene, all of that happens after you have fought this boss. So, let's give a brief look at where we are as far as power goes. So let's drop everybody up to level 13 and hop into one of the random encounters that's going to happen here. No, we are not designing the False Hydra today. There's going to be a whole other section of dungeon after the dragon boss that people will have to do before they get to the false Hydra. Alright, so here is a random encounter, level appropriate gear, representing the point in the game where we roughly are. So you can pay attention to like the damage values, character speed, stuff like that, just to get a good idea of where we are. This is a Draco Lich for this part of the game. It's definitely something. Cat Flick still sucks. I may genuinely get rid of Cat Flick. It's not really a good move. Elena can prayer to soak hits. Okay, attack is good. Malter... Honestly, in order to do proper tests, we basically have to open each test with the debug command to activate all the skills, which is debug command 100. Okay, so that's roughly where we're at. So we want this creature to have a lot of moves, and they keep getting stronger and stronger ones as they get weakened. So, this is a zombie which retains a good portion of the power and ability of the warrior paladin Ilana, who is the character Elena's sister. So what sort of stuff can we have it do? We can definitely have it apply some kind of a weakness debuff. The Mortify state is one that had been suggested previously, which reduces your attack stat and your hit rate. So that's pretty good. So let's put the Mortify condition also, I think prayer rate still needs to go higher for the chance of being targeted. It's the Diddy attack. You see, you can launch Diddy at far off targets. Yeet the Diddy Kong. No. Mortify. Let's see. Okay. Oh. No wonder Bind wasn't getting used. It had a TP cost. And we don't have anything that generates TP. Holy Water. I like that. I do like that. I want to see like a combination of like light and dark power coming from this. So this is going to be Horrifying Visage, which inflicts Mortify Uh... So the message will be, they coldly stare with dead eyes, and that generates the mortify effect. Okay, that's good. Holy water would be an illegal drug in the old times before the Hydra, because zombies couldn't handle it. This is very much like a sacred city. I think what we need is boss music to inspire. Here we go. This is the boss music we use. So, horrifying visage. Definitely like a holy slash and then a dark slash. We can do something with that. Let's take Lucky Slash, one of Elena's key moves, and let's create a couple of versions of it. Unleashes a Blade of Light. That's not kanji or anything. That's all made up. But we can definitely do a slash thunder here. So this will be light slash cost 0 since it's just an enemy skill. Okay. So they have a Blade of Light, and then also a Dark Blade, which is going to be even stronger. And that one's going to use the slash 3 special. Unleashes a Blade of Darkness. Okay. Does the enemy have a pet dog? No. Okay. We're going to call this the Strange Zombie. So, with a fairly high rating, every 4 turns they will unleash the Horrifying Visage with a rating of 1. Higher number is better, right? Yeah. So they'll use Light Slash. When their HP is from 0 to 50%, they will use Dark Slash instead. And so that's going to go from 51% to 100%. Let's see how powerful this actually is against me. Okay, first thing we're going to do, though, is use our debug item. Because we need to make sure that all of our skills are unlocked. Okay, Thatcher's got all her stuff. Let's see how strong a meteor sword is. That is ridiculously strong. Okay. Let's prepare some special ammo. Ah. Right. Okay. These would not appear in the actual gameplay. These are just here because in debug testing, it literally gives you every single item within a slot. So we're just going to prepare sunlight ammo. We're going to prepare 3 shots of sunlight ammo. Elena's going to go in with a Justice Punch. That's a lot. Let's Dragon Shift Red. Holy crap, that is strong. Okay. Sunlight Shot. That was not as strong as I had wanted. Also, Code 100 is not introducing Zenith Nadir or the... Okay. Adjust debug Code 100 to give Thatcher Zenith Nadir and the Evil Magic. Okay, so we really need to increase the magic defense on this thing. A Fire Breath under Mortify, 442. Okay. So immediately we need to bump up the agility, bump up the power, and massively boost the defenses. That's all very important. Debug codes. Debug codes. Where are my debug codes? Debug. Did I put it down here? Yeah, I did. Okay. So we need to run a few more common events here. Specifically, Scroll Zenith, Scroll Nadir, and Scroll Elegy of Death. Those are all important things to have unlocked. Quill, I have 6 amiibos. That is awesome. Dark slash, light slash. What if instead of having dark slash be stronger, we just have it repeat more times? What does this look like? I actually don't own any amiibos. Although I've often wondered if it would be possible to simply get an RFID chip and load amiibo data onto it and effectively use it the same way that you would use an amiibo. I don't have any particular idea for what I would do with that, but I have wondered if it's possible. Alright, let's Dragon Shift. Alright, Justice Punch. Thatcher, I want you to see how much Zenith is able to do. This is basically the strongest anti-undead spell we have right now. Okay. Repeat does not do especially well. Let's change the scope to 2 random enemies. Dark Slash will go for 3 random enemies. And I think that is a bit too much in terms of power. Alright, let's take a look at how much damage this thing is actually putting off right now. Okay, Mortify on Thatcher. That's fine, since she's not going to be using regular attacks. Go for Xena. Okay, Elena, Justice Punch. Malter. Furnace ammo. Let's prepare 3 furnace shots. Ooh, yeah, that's a good chunk of damage. Okay. Dragon Shift Red. I feel like it makes sense if Elena's sister refused to attack Elena, but Elena refused to attack her sister as well. Elena does not know this is her sister. And until recently, she doesn't have any memory of her sister. She only knows that she had one and had forgotten her. But she doesn't know this is her sister, and this zombie does not have... does not have any higher brain function. It is not aware that this is... It's operating purely on feral instinct. It has no awareness of its own. Funny Crowbar. Can you give me any more information than Funny Crowbar? Oh, I did not turn the repeat off on that one. Okay, alright. I think we have... I think we have a good start here. But it also definitely needs to be attacking more frequently. What other effects? Funny Crowbar with a move that has a 9 multiplier, attack multiplier, and ignores defense. Okay. You have given me a specific number. So why not? Oh, I haven't forgotten at all. I just don't see how that's going to help this situation. Bashes... swings a funny looking crowbar. Well, I'm trying to get stuff for this specific fight. That's the whole point of what we're doing. Okay, so Funny Crowbar, which it can do every 3 turns with a slightly higher rating. Lower the variance significantly. Alright, let's see how much a funny-looking crowbar can hit for. Zombie can call backup. Backup is zombie mice and zombie dogs from the school. I don't think I'll do that for this boss, but there is a zombie dog key, and I can definitely make use of that for random encounters. And I kind of like the idea of a zombie dog, like, fact leader. Okay, so there's the funny-looking crowbar. Which is just going to be a 1. Okay. So this zombie can now swing a funny-looking crowbar, which is exceedingly powerful. What else? What else can this boss do? I think I like the idea of the HP jumble being saved for the dragon boss. Bonk you with a textbook. I don't know why they'd have a textbook, but... How about poison? Okay, we are taking both ideas. Toxic textbook. Throws a moldy book. And so that's going to add the poison condition. They have said textbook they stole from the school. They're not going to say anything. Let's see, what works for this? Okay, moldy textbook. I meant they stole said textbook from the school. Yeah, that makes sense. So Toxie textbook. Sure. Throws moldy books. Okay. So they throw a whole bunch of books, hitting 4 times randomly without much power. Each one having a 50% chance of causing a poison. Poison condition is currently set for minus 10% HP per turn. Okay. So we're going to say that they do that from when they are dead. Every other turn. From 75% and lower. We're really going to rank up the health to 10,000. I want to say something, but Deltarune spoilers. Then please do not say it. It's not like I'm going to drop consequences if you do, but it would be polite not to. Also, again, we're not doing Undertale and Deltarune here. This is not Undertale or Deltarune. This is not an Undertale Deltarune fan game. We are fighting a zombie in a necropolis underneath a temple city. The sunlight ammo is really not doing what I wanted it to. How much damage can gravity shots do to it at this point? It has a false Hydra. You have just provided an Undertale spoiler. I have no idea the meaning of that in context, but you have just provided enough information that I can reasonably assume that there is something memory affecting involved in Deltarune, which is something I did not know a minute ago. You have now clarified the information that you did not mean that, and you have now told me that that is not a plot element I can expect. You are now providing spoilers in the form of negative reinforcement by providing information on what is not needed. With every word, I learn a little more about what is and is not in those missions. Fun, isn't it? Being able to read between the lines of written word is a burdensome talent. Malta ran out of prepared ammo. Okay, good. That system is working. I want to see the moldy books. Okay, you did a regular attack. Why did you do a regular attack? I don't know why they did a regular attack. Why are you doing regular attacks? Are you under some kind of debuff that has altered your attack condition? No, that's not doing it. That is still working. Did I set the commands wrong? No, the Dark Slash is still working. Okay. Still need more power here. Why aren't you using the moldy book? Baja Blast shouldn't be able to affect you. Okay, Baja Blast did affect you. Baja Blast is absolutely not a condition we want to be able to affect you. I really don't know. I really don't know, Aubrey. I'm not sure. Not really sure what's happening here. God damn it, Malter. What does your skill actually apply? Also, Capflick sucks still. Baja Blast applies the rage condition. Okay. Then we really need to... Right, enraged. I should have guessed that that was the enraged condition. Okay, so we need to make sure... Oh, that's why! Okay. Got it. Wrong skill set here. So, toxic textbook. Increase the rating on these. Increase the rating on those. Horrifying visage. The enemy eats a stray mouse to heal a little bit of HP. Yeah, sure, that might as well happen. How do I do element weaknesses again? On the traits for enemies, you go into the traits, you go to element rate, select the element that you want, and then adjust the multiplier that you want applied to that. So any rate over 100% is going to multiply the damage and increase the damage done to them. And then anything below 100 is going to divide that damage. Okay. Let's also have this stun with a 50% chance for 1 turn. So it also takes them out during that attack. Howl. I thought that makes it a multiplier of how strong those elemental attacks are. No. That is not what it does at all. If you ever want clarification, if you just hover over something, it'll be able to provide you a quick pop-up window that will clarify exactly what that effect does. So, grabs and consumes a nearby rat. Okay. So this is going to add the empower condition with no TP gain on the user. And it is also going to recover 1000 HP with a 10% variance, no chance of a critical hit. So this is going to be Eat Rat. Heal and power up. Okay. So we're going to make this a fairly uncommon move. Okay. Let's see how the fight goes. Alright, let's assume that this is a real version of the fight. And let's see if this is good enough to be our boss. We're gonna Dragon Shift Red. Elena, let's activate Prayer so that most of the attacks are aimed at you. Thatcher, let's go for Pyramid Hex, see if we can weaken them a bit. Holy crap, that's a lot of damage. Alright, we're gonna Dragon Shift Green. specifically to reduce the damage from physical attacks. And we're going to activate... Honestly, let's go with growth ammo. Okay, Justice Punch. Thatcher. Let's go with Zenith. Ryu. Let's go with Feeding. Malter, Growth Chart. Growth Shot. Causes all allies to regenerate 10% of their maximum health every turn for 10 turns. This is the most powerful healing effect I currently have in the game. Elena, Justice Punch. Thatcher. We need healing on Malter. Okay, Malter got stunned. How much does a regular Ryu attack do? Funny Crowbar, which Elena is able to completely dodge thanks to the effect of her prayer. Thatcher. Let's go with Zenith. Moldy Books. Okay, there was the Moldy Books. Malter. Let's go with Enrichment so we can earn extra rewards this battle. Oh, okay, Elena is stunned. Zenith. Ooh, Elena got stunned again. Are we still regenerating? Yes, we are. Okay. Let's go with Bottle Opener. Thatcher, Zenith. Okay. Malter. Let's reapply the growth shot. Okay, Justice Punch. And we actually do need healing now. That crowbar hurts like hell. Let's prepare 5 furnace shots. Elena, Justice Punch. Thatcher, Zenith. Okay, Elena is mortified, but she didn't lose balance. Malter, Furnace Shot. Elena, Justice Punch. Thatcher, we need... Where's my... Pepsi Monster restores a third of stamina. Okay, Malter, you actually really need healing. Bottle of Pepsi. Okay, Moldy Books. Elena, Justice Punch. Thatcher, Zenith. Okay. Alright. How does everybody feel about that to be the boss fight? I'm actually going to reduce its HP some, because that was genuinely nuts. Is it just me, or does this person have raisies? That's a zombie little miss. Elena, not Ileana. Also, I might make it my RPG so darkness and light are super effective against each other. Yes, Final Fantasy X had good success by having a dual binary elemental system where water and lightning were super effective against each other, and then fire and ice were super effective against each other. I thought that was actually a fantastic elemental design system. Oh, this was supposed to be Eat the Rat. Okay. Now it'll eat the rat like it's supposed to. List all of my game's elements and tell me what electric should be weak to. Earth. Earth works. Smoke is also not a bad idea. If you have a bunch of particulates in the air, you are going to greatly reduce the ability of electricity to, what's the word I'm looking for? Conduct. I think this is a decent zombie. I think this is pretty okay. The characters at this point in the game have a lot of tools that they can bring to bear against this. And I think that's very successful. Sunlight Shot, though... Oh, deals light damage to all enemies and may blind them. I think it makes sense for it to do extra damage against undead. Deals extra damage against the undead. I think that's fine. I think it's an okay fight. I do want to adjust Dark Slash to have a different effect. We'll just make it the ice one so that it actually goes on the target. Let's see. Sweep works for Funny Crowbar. So here is our boss, Strange Zombie. It's got Horrifying Visage, Light Slash, Dark Slash, Funny Crowbar, Toxic Textbook, Eat Rat. I feel like I want one more slash variant. Unleashes a blade of light and dark. And this one's going to hit 4 random enemies. Yeah, I think that's fine. So this is going to be the Dark Light Slash. And then one more move that hits everybody. Honestly, I like Earthquake dealing like 10% damage to the entire crew. Okay, like this. And we'll call it, how do I put this? Does a wild sword goes on a sword swinging frenzy, and that's going to be physical, and we'll just call that like that. Okay. So Dark Slash is going to go until they are under 15% HP. And then that is when they do the Dark Light Slash from... No, from 15 to 50. Yeah. So this is... If they're at 16% health or above, they'll use Dark Slash. 50% or above, they use Light Slash. 15% or less, they will use Dark Light Slash. Okay. And then finally... with a rating of 6, we'll go with Sword Dance. Below 50% health. Okay. Go up, go up, go up. Toxic Textbook is still going to be 1. Dark Light Slash is at 3, and then Sword Dance will be at 2. Okay. And we're going to have them drop a Necrid Heart, like my zombies do. Okay. Let's see how the fight works. Let's move in. Grr. Alright, this is the real battle. This is on the actual save that I've been testing with. First up, we're going to start with Bottle Opener. Ryu. Let's Dragon Shift Green to reduce physical damage. Thatcher. I don't know if Pyramid's Hex works. It doesn't look like it did. Activate Prayer. Okay, Malter. Let's go for Enrichment. Wing Buffet. Miss. Okay, they consumed a rat and powered up. That is very bad. Their power has just increased considerably. Justice Punch. Malter. Let's go for some special ammo. Let's actually prepare a... Whoops. I did not prepare my ammo. Crap. Elena, Justice Punch. Damn it. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wait. Okay. Something broke when preparing Zero Growth Shot. Something there is not working. We're going to have to fix that. That's really, really important. I think I just broke Malter's shots permanently on this save, if I save after this turn. Thatcher, Zenith. Malter. Crap. Bottle Cap Rain. 2,900. Justice Punch. Okay. We're doing good. Okay. I think that works. I think I actually have a pretty good fight here. Yeah, I mean, I basically go in knowing how to fight it, and with all the regular advantages that come with that. So, I think this is okay. Okay. So here is why Regenerate was not providing me the proper messaging. That was the first thing I noticed that I want to fix. Okay. So I think I want to have a good chance of avoiding the blind condition, which is supposed to be done by the sunlight shot. Yes. Okay. And then bottle opener provides expose. So we want to add like a 30% resistance to exposure. Okay. And we are also going to have this character provide Dr. Pepper. Nah, not Dr. Pepper. Crystal Pepsi. What the hell does Crystal Pepsi do? Crystal Pepsi removes all negative status effects. Nah, we'll have it drop 2 Diet Pepsis. I think that's fair. 2 basically revival items for winning the fight. Okay. I think that's good. Let's bump a couple more things into here. The Anti-Fiend Undead multiplier on this is so insane. We're actually going to reduce that for sure. Alright, so, viewers, what did you think of that fight? Steam Bob Disable goes off. And something went wrong with my ammo preparation. If ammo is not equal to 0, then you're preparing that much ammo. This is where I messed up. Okay. Okay. So something in here was not working. So if the number is equal to 0, then it checks the ammo var. Ammo var. Okay. So these two... That's 303 and 304. They're not within the break loop. So if the ammo amount is not 0, so the next one goes here. So it's break loop, end, end, break loop, end, end. Okay. Okay. So if the ammo amount is not equal to 0, then it prepares the ammo. Else... Okay, so this is where it's doing the ammo amount check. So basically, the growth shot and the sunlight shot were not appropriately looping. Okay. So this is what got me. This comment is incorrect. We don't actually need an else branch on this to make it work. The next one should go here. Place new entries. Place new entries 2 diamonds above this comment. Each ammo type should have a break loop followed by 2 ends before the next ammo type events. Okay, so that should solve that problem. This just goes to Wallachia for the briefing, which we don't need. That is the Elena boss fight that we just designed. Okay, give me a couple minute break, and then I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. I've got probably at most 45 minutes, so with that being taken care of, let's move on to the big, cool thing that we are going to do today. We are going to start our work on the dragon boss. So let's take a look at our options for a dragon boss. We used this one previously for the red dragon. I do want the dragons to mostly maintain a recognizably dragon anatomy. So let's see. Here's probably the dragon that we will end up using. But let's take a look at other options first. Just to see if there's anything that better fits the concept of like a dark undead dragon. Let's see. Is there anything better than that one? No, there really isn't. Okay. So this is the dragon that we're going to be using. Isn't it a Draco Lich? I'm not totally clear. It's not going to be something that achieved undeath through its own designs. I could go with something more flesh-colored. More of like more pink. I don't know. What color can we work with? Basically, our good options are a bluish color, a purple color, a pinkish color, or go for something that's more like a sickly yellow-green. I don't really know. But immediately off the bat, we are bumping up its stats a fair bit. This thing is significantly stronger as far as rates go. Honestly, Hex is pretty decent. We'll say it's 50-50 on Hex. Can't be enraged controlled. It can potentially be cursed. Where the hell did I put cursed? Cursed. We'll say 50-50 on cursed. We'll say 50% from various elements. Darkness is going to be 0. Gravity is fine. Blind and exposed, that's fine. So let's take a look. What level? What level are my characters at this point? Level 12? Okay. So, for the Draco Lich, let's test this at level 15. And we are going to equip basically all of the most powerful stuff that anybody has access to at this point. Let's say the sugar cap necklace. Malter's running the experimental cap gun. They're going to have Pepsi Blue. They're running reinforced mask, reinforced breastplate. Warrior's gloves are still fine. And then Elena is running a crystal blade, a reinforced shield, a reinforced mask, a reinforced breastplate, and Ghostly Belt. I think Ghostly Belt is the one that applies like a chance at evasion, I think. Yes. Okay, so extremely powerful. All right, let's get a quick look and see what kind of damage outputs are going on. Well, I'm also thinking of adding a weapon combining system, mostly for the final weapons like Whirlwind Blaze and the Psyshock Size. Is Malter the joke character of this? Malter basically fulfills a role as a hybrid supporter. I wouldn't say any of these characters are particularly taking this seriously. Okay. Let's lower that magic defense. Let's see how strong its physical attacks are. I really need you to hit your target. 331 while wearing that super heavy armor. I think that is enough. We're going to give it a critical rate of 5%, but no evasion chance. So I think that's fine. So one of the big things that we idea in the overworld, you can give Ryu head pats. I do not have the slightest clue how that would be integrated. I don't know how I would do the animation. I don't know how I would toggle it being happened. And most of the time you're going to be Ryu moving around anyway. So I don't know how you do that. One of the things I really liked for this boss is an HP jumble. So let's work on that. We're going to start with Sword Dance as a base. So it's going to hit 4 people at random. 4 people at random. And with each one, with each hit, it's going to take off 25%. But dark element. So that is not able to be resisted. We're going to add a small variance to it. 4 random enemies. And the dragon spews forth a life-corrupting breath. Okay. So after it does this, then it's going to call a common event. So it's going to call common event 32. And this is going to be HP Jumble. So I need some conditions. So HP transfers down, HP transfers up, 2 down and 2 up. Those are going to be the 4 conditions that can happen when we use this effect. So first we need a variable. So this is going to be HP Jumble A, or HP Jumble randomize. Let's just call this the HP Jumble var A. And then HP Jumble var B. HP Jumble var C. And finally HP Jumble var D. Okay. So Jumble var A is going to be set to a random number between... I am not giving the Draco Lich a gun. This is already going to be an absolute nightmare. Plus, we've already established through Ryu not using equipment that it does not use equipment. Idea Malter can be your enemy. The attack is called Malter's Malt, and it causes the drunk status. I like that for a future move. Malter might skill. Malter's Malt causes drunk status. Okay. So, if Jumble A is equal to 1, then we set Jumble var A equal to Ryu's HP, and set B equal to Thatcher's HP. We set C equal to Elena's HP. Pun Malter Malt is too good. Yes. And D equal to the HP of Elena. I really want to just clear out these extra Elenas I used for testing once. They confuse me every time I go into this. Okay. So now We are going to change the HP okay. So I can't, like, set HP. I actually have to do this. Okay, how the hell do I do this then? How would this work with a dead character? Okay. This is going to be more complicated than I expected. Subtract 1. I'm not seeing this in my head as easily as I usually do. But we're just going to keep working in the direction vaguely. We set it to that. Okay. Condition, actor, state, dead, Ryu, create else. Okay, if Ryu is affected by dead, if Thatcher is affected by dead, if Malter is affected by dead, if Elena is affected by dead, then it'll do something else. Otherwise, we go with the calculation. Okay. So if Ryu is affected by dead, then we change the state of Thatcher to dead. And we change the HP of Thatcher to decrease it by the max and allow death. Actually, doing that and just saying allow death will probably work better. Okay. Good. Otherwise, we change Thatcher's HP to decrease by B. Okay. No. Thatcher to Malter. Malter to Elena. And Elena to Ryu. Otherwise, we go through all of this. So now we have characters dead, or we have a variable equal to their current HP minus 1. Okay. Okay. So we would need 2 pieces of information. If Ryu is dead, then it kills Thatcher. Otherwise, it does this. Okay. And then it will decrease Thatcher's HP by an amount equal to Ryu's health minus 1, allowing death. No. Equal to an amount equal to Thatcher's current health minus death. And then increase it by an amount equal to Ryu's health. So this is basically a health swap. Ryu's health now becomes Thatcher's health. And then finally we end it with an increase of 1. Okay. And if Ryu's dead, it just kills Thatcher outright. Okay. I think this all works. Okay. So else set B equal to Thatcher's HP. Set B minus 1. Set C equal to the HP of Malter. Change C minus 1. Then we change the HP of Malter to decrease by C. If this system works, we're only ever going to need 2 variables used. That's the thing about this. Like, I think this is more efficient than what I was originally trying to do. We just have to change the actor. And this one equal to Malter. So then we change the HP of Malter. Change the HP of wait. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Okay, the problem is that we're looping. We're just passing down, basically. No, we are absolutely going to need 4 variables. We're absolutely going to need 4 variables. Okay. I don't think any of this works. Okay. Yeah, I do think my original vision for this was basically the only way that we can make this work. Because I need 4 different values saved, or it's just going to pass HP along in between the different characters. Okay. So we change the HP of Thatcher to subtract her current. Allowing death. And then we change the HP of Malter to be equal to C. And then Thatcher increase by B. No, Malter increase by B. And then Malter increase by 1. Then we need Elena to go up by D. And then we need Elena to go up by C. And then Elena to increase by 1. And we'll add Ryu up at the top. Ryu decreases by D. No, decreases by A. But goes up by D. And then up by 1. Is this a health swap? Okay, this might work. Right, I didn't actually make a skill that does this. This is going to be Dark Breath, enemies, skills, Dark Breath, and then Dark Breath summons the HP Jumble, characters' HP has been shuffled. I don't know if this works. Let's give it a shot. Character's HP has been shuffled. Okay. Let's pay attention to that again. Eight, 8, 9. I think that's working. I actually need extra eyes on this. How many people do we have in chat right now? Okay. Anybody in chat who's listening right now, can you pick a character, keep a close eye on their HP, and we're going to make sure that this is actually swapping appropriately, because I think I see a problem, but I can't watch every single value simultaneously. Okay, Cole's gonna watch Malter. I will watch Ryu. Aubrey, can you keep an eye on... Okay, you'll take Ryu. Okay, Aubrey's on Ryu, Cole's on Malter. I'm going to keep an eye on Thatcher. So, here's what we are going to do. Let's pay close attention. This is going to be important. The dragon, the enemy, is going to use an attack that is going to damage some different characters. Immediately after that, he is going to shuffle their health values around. What I need you to do is to remember whatever their health is immediately before it shuffles. Okay? We need to remember exactly what their health is before it goes for the shuffle. And I'm actually going to add a 3-second wait before it does the shuffle, just so we all have extra time to see it and read it, okay? So remember the health before the shuffle. Don't worry about that, Aubrey. We'll make it check. Okay. Everyone, remember the HP of your character. Okay. So Malter is at 581. Thatcher was at 580. So Malter did get... Thatcher did get Malter's health plus an extra 1. What health did... Okay. Ryu had 821. And Thatcher's now at 822, so that is what Ryu's health was plus 1. Ryu got gooped, and Malter was at 1348. So Malter's went to Elena, who now has 1349. So it worked. It worked. The swap worked exactly the way we wanted it to. What we don't need to do is have this plus 1... tacked on. Okay. So that works. Now we're going to see what happens if a character is dead. I have no idea what is going to happen here. We're just going to make Ryu dead. I don't know if this is going to work at all. I don't know if it's going to transfer the death state, or if I'm going to have to fix this somehow. Okay. Okay, okay. Did you see that? Thatcher died. Okay. Thatcher died. Ryu didn't come back. Do I want Ryu? Do we want the dead party member to be revived by this? I think I do. So, I think the first thing we do is increase the health of the whole party by 1 to remove a death condition. And then at the end of it, we decrease it all by 1. Alright, let's see if that does what I want it to. We're going to just decrease Ryu's health by the max, allowing death. Let's move in and see how it worked. Okay. It did not heal. If we remove the whole crew's death states, does that do something? We're going to add a 2-second wait after we remove the death state. And increase health by 1. See what that does. Okay. Removing death state automatically sets HP to 1. So we don't need to have the +1 health effect. But we do need to... Okay. Does this work? We might have a completely functional HP swapping system that also swaps death conditions. I mean, that worked. If it works again, then the next one will swap the death state to Malter. Yes! I have an HP shuffle mechanic that can successfully transfer death. That is exactly what I was trying to do. So current HP is... Yes, we want it to take away 25% of current HP before it does the swap. Okay. That absolutely functions the way I want it to. Okay. Characters' health has been shuffled around, is the message. And now we're going to have different conditions. So there's going to be 4 different versions of how it shuffles. So in this one, all the health shuffles down a character. In this one, all the health is going to shuffle up a character. So Ryu is going to be set to Thatcher, which is B. Thatcher gets set to Malter, which is C. And Elena gets shuffled for Ryu, who is A. So that's it. That's literally... Oh, God freaking damn it. I was modifying the first one. So... God damn it. set to B, set to C, set to D, set to A. So this is D, A, B, C. That's fine. All right. I didn't wreck the original, so everything's fine. And now we go with swap option number 3. So this one's going to go up by 2, which means that they are set to C, which means that you are set to D, which means that you are set to A, and you are set to B. So B, A, D, C, that is all functional. And finally, the last version of the HP shuffle, where it is 2 down. Actually, 2 up or 2 down is literally the same, isn't it? Okay, well, you've had D, you've had B, D, and C. Actually, I think these are the only 3 possible combos, aside from making it more complicated. So, C, D, A, B, C, dab, D, A, B, C, back C, B, C, D, A, Bikuda. All right, there we go. So every time it shuffles, it is going to pick from one of these 3 modes. So you don't even know how the HP is going to shuffle. And every time it does that, it's going to reduce the HP of the party as well. But it's going to be based on current, not maximum HP. So damage goes out on the party. And then health gets shuffled. So that's going to be the primary, big gimmick mechanic of this fight. Is going to be the HP shuffling mechanic. So the idea is that it is a very difficult fight to plan around. I love this. I absolutely love this. It's okay that Lux isn't coming. Honestly, I'm about to end the stream anyway, but I'm really glad that I got this done today before the stream. We've got the HP mechanic taken down. So this functions, and obviously there's more stuff that that the boss is going to do. It's not going to do this every turn like it is now. This is just for testing purposes. But yeah, I think that's good. I think we're good for today. We designed a boss. We got some scenes fixed. We figured out the central gimmick of yet another boss. I am extremely pleased with how this has gone. Okay. That works absolutely great. So I'm going to have to run pretty quickly, so I don't have time for a big, long outro. Thank you all so much for being here. As always, I really appreciate all of your support and your ideas with this project. It's what really makes this special. We'll be back here again next week. Stream on Saturday for Terraria, stream on Sunday, more RPG Maker. Designing enemies, Grim Furnace, stuff like that. Starting to design the ideas for going deeper into, the Undercity. The current daily series going up on the channel is the Dark Souls DLC, Artorias of the Abyss. And I think that's it. So thank you all so much for being here. I will see you all in the next one, and it is time to make the sound to summon the end of the stream. Wow, 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 wow.